Hey everybody, welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
and me, Banshee. And this is our monthly modality message.
Hooray, I'm celebrating the summer solstice. I hope you are too.
Happy solstice. We decided to even film this reading on Solstice Day.
Yes, or else we've just been really busy.
Well, you know, it's a long day.
It is.
So this is bound to get out sometime today on solstice.
You got it. But our modality message is of course, an original interpretation of tarot and astrological concepts, because besides some of the things we already know about the elemental designations, we also have a modality expression too. And so this reading tells you what modality you are and how you can work with those energies over the next month.
You know, we are dabblers. We like to mash things up like this. And, you know, we do a lot with the, we do other videos that are with the elemental signs of the zodiac. So we figured, why not do a modality one?
Because it's original and nobody else is doing it.
Well, not quite like this.
Not quite like this.
Yeah. They may do it, as cards of the day on the social media. I've seen that. Well, right now, we're getting ready to do our first modality, which is the cardinal signs. The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And, you know, we cardinals, hey, we are the initiators. We are number one. No. That's Aries. But anyway, we are the initiators of the zodiac. We know how to get things started. We know how to get things done. We're quick, we're driven, we are active, we are ambitious. We have a lot of energy and enthusiasm. And most importantly, we want to win. But, you know, there are some negatives, aren't there, Mr. O?
Oh, shall I read those?
Yeah, I'll leave that to you.
Alrighty then. Well, the negatives are that, you know, the cardinals can be too domineering, too self-centered. They may forget about others as they focus on their stuff. And sometimes they just don't always finish what they start. But they sure like to start stuff.
Guilty as charged on that last one. All right, so let's roll and let's see what's going on. By the way, if we haven't mentioned it, these readings are good through the Cancer season. And I want to say sincerely right now, happy birthday to all the Cancers out there.
Absolutely.
All right. So, hey, Cardinals, the primary focus for you during Cancer season will be, it's the Fool reversed. Oh, no.
Oh dear.
Well, the primary, the primary focus could be a couple of different things for you. We'll have to look and see how the other cards unfold, but I feel here, there's this whole sense with the Fool reversed of this fear of taking risks too. Are you holding back? Is there reasons? Maybe there are good reasons that you don't want to take a chance, you don't want to take a gamble at this time. Or maybe there's not so good reasons, that you just have some unfounded fears. You're afraid to take that leap and trust.
Well, because you're cardinals and you initiate things, this could also be saying too that some of the things you're initiating or trying to initiate may have missteps.
That's
so
true.
You may want to consider checking checking systems and making sure it's a go. It's like programming or things like that. You sometimes have to figure out exactly the way the flow is supposed to go. If you try something, you may make a misstep.
All right, let's move on to the role your interactions with others will play in the month ahead. Oh, it's the Seven of Cups. Wow, this is really interesting to me. Maybe you're going to be, with others, maybe others and you'll be exploring your options. I don't know if it relates to this possible, fear of taking a risk, that maybe, you're going to be exploring your options with others and getting some advice on which way to go. Maybe that would make you actually feel more comfortable.
Well, you know, as a Scorpio, then I'm looking at that and saying, "Oh, this gives you somebody else to blame when they're looking at those missteps." And say, like, "Well, it was
I
the
love
people
that.
I was interacting with, and they were, you know, looking at my visions." You know, blame your visions, maybe.
That's kind of
But on a serious note,
cute,
it could just
Mr.
be
O.
saying too that you have a lot to share with what your visions are, what your dreams are, what you're hoping to manifest, and so in that sense, you know, you are bringing a lot to the table that maybe people have to really kind of help distill.
All right, what's the next one?
The next one, card 3, is the opportunities or challenges that you may face in the month ahead and how best you can achieve them.
It's the devil. Upright. The devil's in the details for sure, cardinal signs. Clearly, this is a challenge. And it's interesting, too, because, you know, in the traditional devil, we have the chained people, you know, who are kind of locked in place. So are your fears locking you in place here, which is why you're maybe looking for some outside support? Is it also, too, that maybe this month your challenge is going to be, you know, not getting too obsessed with things, whether it's being obsessed with your fears, whether it's being obsessed with some bad habits that you have? This is a time to try to find some balance.
You know, I like that. I think it's a really good observation because a lot of times when this presence is in the card, it really is talking about the things that hold you back, perhaps. And so this is saying you should really look at those challenges or opportunities because maybe there is a downside or an unintended consequence. And that would be very Capricornian on one level, too. Capricornian.
Sorry, we got a card of Capricorn here.
Energies want to sort of, you know, understand systems, but like we were talking about in the beginning, anybody could maybe make some missteps. So I think a lot of this is about process.
Interesting indeed. So,
your superpower.
How can we best use our superpowers, our best qualities to, you know, best advantage in the month ahead? Oh, I like.
Well, the Prince or Knight of Swords.
Yes.
Because there's a princess, right?
That's true.
So this is the Knight of Swords.
Well, how best you can use your superpowers. It's interesting here. I think maybe, you know, because we're so quick and driven and ambitious, you know, the Knight of Swords being here is really interesting to me. Move swiftly, move with speed, because the Knight of Swords is the fastest knight in the tarot. And also, you know, you may be called upon to make some quick decisions. You know, I think your brain will be on fire and you will be able to do that. Maybe it stems from, you know, looking at the options here. I guess we'll have to go and recap this after you get done. But I want to say this is very interesting.
It's an interesting reading. And, you know, I'm looking at the card itself and it says mutable air. And I feel like, you know, as the cardinals are incredibly about initiating things, this is a good quality to have in this position here. Your superpower really is being able to flow with change, but really thrust forward with it. You know, typical Knight of Swords energy. So I love that.
I do too, for the way I interpreted it and also for the way you did. Do you want to go over it again?
All right.
Do you want to start with yours?
Okay, so the first card was the
Cool.
The Fool reversed, and I thought or suggested that this is saying there's a month of possible missteps, and a lot of this is about whether or not we're following routine or process or protocol.
And I felt that it was about maybe trust issues a little bit, trust in yourself and your abilities to take that chance, take that risk, and, you know, and believe in yourself enough that you can do this.
But the second card, how you interact with others, suggests that you have a lot of vision or a lot of interesting ideas that you share, that you interact with people on. And so a big part of this interaction could be saying, are you in fact still remembering process? Are you distilling it down to the best idea? Those are the things that maybe you should be trying to focus on this month.
And I feel it was about maybe, discussing with others some of your options, how best to approach this, and maybe even just get some common sense advice. Maybe your ideas about this are all over the place, which is part of the problem. And also, because you're not trusting yourself, well, maybe you're overthinking it a bit. You're imagining things that aren't there.
That's very interesting.
Sometimes that can be about illusory things, dreams.
Right, exactly. What you share, is it really feasible, or will other people, indicate that if they should?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so our third card then is the opportunities or challenges you face. And some of this is definitely more challenges because it's the devil. And so I think it's talking about being able to do that review of yourself and saying, what is it that holds you back? Are you codependent onto yourself? Are you allowing yourself certain things to happen because it leaves you in a comfort zone, or not taking challenges because it takes you out of a comfort zone?
Break free from the bondage of fear. That's what I feel of your fears and your lack of trust in yourself. I think that, you may try to mask it with some other bad habits or something here, following a different, the wrong path. But whatever it is, just break free of the fear that's binding you and holding you back from, taking a chance on something that could turn into a good opportunity.
And the Capricorn energy of the card itself being part of, that modality also suggests, once again, review your process, review your systems. They're going to work for you if you follow them.
And finally, I'll just lead with this one. Speedy Gonzalez here. You got to think quick sometimes, and you got to just do it. In other words, remember I said here you might be overthinking it a bit. How about stopping that now and going with, what your instincts, what your logical brain is telling you is the right course to take.
This card really distills, using that word again, the total essence of your modality, Cardinals, and that is to just really initiate and push forward with new stuff.
And that's what we have for you, Cardinal signs. Good luck with that. Sounds like an interesting month for us. All right. Next we are on our friends, the fixed signs. And who could be a fixed sign?
Tauruses, Leos, Scorpios, and Aquarius.
You shuffle first?
No.
Well, let me talk about, you can talk about your positives if you want. If you want.
Of course. Well, I have so many of them. Steadiness, stable, determined, resolute, self-reliant, forging ahead, calmly works on objectives. Well, except when there's a deadline, and lately there's always a deadline.
Or computer issues.
Remember those who've helped them. Persistence, concentration, powerful yet purposeful. No wasted motions.
But, particularly with Scorpios, but with maybe all the fixed signs, there is a dark side.
Indeed.
And that dark side they can be very, very stubborn. It's kind of like my way or the highway thinking. They have a tendency to get stuck in their ways. You have to kind of nudge them. And they believe, can you believe it? They believe they are always right.
Shuffle the cards, dear.
All right.
Since you're doing it, you agree that I was right about that at least.
Yes, we did. Okay, yes, fine. It's fine.
So if you watched my Goth Tarot this morning, I hope you enjoyed it. I had a little bit of a tribute to the summer solstice. I kind of aligned some parts of the legend with Egyptian mythology and gave invocations to the gods. And I did a special reading for the light, dark, and shadow parts of ourselves that are hidden to ourselves. So check it out. It's on our YouTube channel, Goth Tarot.
All right. Well, let's move on with the fixed signs. And, your primary focus for the month ahead, fixed signs, is the Two of Pentacles. Hey,
Two of Pentacles.
I kind of like that. Well, but, fixed signs, isn't that you?
You're not rocking the boat. You're kind of holding things steady.
Isn't that you?
You're not willing to necessarily over-involve yourself. You think you can probably handle just about what you have. So there's mostly status quo about this. Your month is going to mostly be trying to put things in balance. Maybe there are issues you have to work on, but it really is always about achieving a sense of control in your life to some degree.
You know, I won't say it's total smooth sailing, fixed signs, but you are holding your own quite nicely this month. You have everything together. There may be a few rocky periods, but, you know, you're into kind of trying to just maintain that balance right now. That's, as he said, that status quo. All right.
So how will your interactions or your role in interactions be perceived and played with those this month?
Well, well, well. It's the King of Swords reversed. That's not good. Okay, fixed signs. You know, you're trying to maintain balance and stability here. So why are you getting hot under the collar with others? Or are others trying to upset your apple cart here?
Well, it almost looks as if you're running into those situations that say, I'm always right. And
yes, it could be you, it could be someone else.
And so that's creating a sense of unfairness maybe with your interactions with others. And you really have to think about whether or not it's best to always play that hand, or if you need to kind of think about the balance you're trying to achieve. And that also means intake from others.
You know, sometimes you have to draw lines and boundaries, but you don't have to get tough about it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to get angry about it. You don't have to be hostile. So, you know, do what you have to do, you know, if there's problems in your interactions with others, but let's not let it get out of hand. And if somebody else is getting out of hand, then, you know, you need to walk away. You need to look after yourself and keeping things copacetic in your world.
Play nice, fixed signs.
Please. All right, so the opportunities or challenges, that sounded like one, you may face and how best to achieve or tackle them. Interestingly enough, it's the Four of Wands, the TFT unofficial party card, we like to call it, which is really funny to me. So I think, well, it's an opportunity, you know, rather than a challenge here. I think that this is an opportune time to just get great enjoyment. You know, whether it's out of seasonal activities, where, you know, it's summer in certain parts of the world, whatever the case may be, you know, it's getting out, enjoying yourself, enjoying, celebrations with others rather than conflict with others. You know, it almost flies in the face of that card.
It's like an opportunity to build a bigger tent, build more inclusiveness. It's really about understanding what makes us more common to each other rather than divisive. And, you know, I keep thinking of, there's some sort of biblical quote, a house divided cannot stand against itself, or something like that.
Yeah.
And of course, that would be the reverse of this, or some other interpretation, the idea that we do not need to stand divided. We need to stand united.
And you know what's interesting about this is that it just so flies in the face of that card. I feel that maybe what this means is that if there are people around you who are hostile, bullying, or indifferent to you, or really will not change, you know, their negative attitudes, maybe this is about finding, you know, the people, the tribe, the place you really belong in.
That's a nice way to look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, the opportunities or challenges here, I guess, are really being able to find your crowd, but also to ease over those kind of things, to maybe show people that you're not so out of control too yourself.
Ooh.
Your superpower.
How can you use your modality superpowers to best advantage this month? It's the Seven of Swords reversed.
And it's got a rabbit there, a white rabbit at that.
Wow. Well, that's really interesting to me.
I guess it sort of sounds like maybe being a little bit magnanimous in a certain way, you know, like giving back in a certain way, somebody else's sense of agency. And of course, when you're looking at the idea that maybe there are interactions that are firing this month and there are opportunities to quell some of that or to bring people together, then this is saying that your superpower, fixed signs, can be when you reach into yourself and find a sense of magnanimousness that you can portray too, that you can kind of bring people together and sort of, it's not exactly whataboutism, but it's sort of like saying everyone has a place, a rationale.
I think the best way to use your modality superpowers is that, you know, you want to maintain that balance this month. That is the primary focus. And you are very balanced, steadfast, stable, secure individuals. So don't let this rattle you. You know, do what you can to either move away from toxic behavior, whether it's coming from you, all right, maybe some situations and people trigger you. So it's time to maybe move away from that and find your place. I find a very interesting resonance with this reading as well, similar to what we saw with the Cardinals.
Shall we go over it again?
Yeah, let's go over it again.
All right, so the first card was about the overall tone or focus, and we saw the Two of Pentacles, so we felt fixed signs are probably working on basically maintaining status quo, not getting too out of line with themselves. You know, it's summer and maybe there are just some things that need to kind of be balanced and square towards, you know, the upcoming fall.
Well, there's no doubt you're going to be busy, but you're trying to totally have a balance between these aspects of your life, and it's for the most part working, you know. That's not to say there won't be some rough patches, as evidenced by our second card.
Right, and our second card is how we're interacting with people or our friends or etc. And it kind of looks like we're falling back on maybe one of our more negative traits as a fixed sign, the idea that we're always right or that we don't have to agree or that we can kind of stand in judgment of others who don't, you know, fit our needs or that kind of thing.
Right. Right. I feel here with the King of Swords, this is just not good behavior. It's bad behavior. I'm just going to call it as I see it. And it's aggressive and it's argumentative and it's somebody unwilling to, you know, accept other people's points of views. Don't be that person.
Right.
Fixed signs. Don't be that person, or it's going to totally upset what you're trying to, you know, have a nice, balanced, calm summer here. But also, hey, if you can't do anything about this person, it's trying to minimize some contact, I'd say.
So, right, put a check on overt behavior, but, you know, sometimes the best solution is just to walk away when you can.
And then, of course, with the Four of Wands as the opportunity or challenge for the month ahead, you know, make this an opportune month to find the people you really gel with and can enjoy their company, have some get-togethers with friends and family that you love, you know, enjoy this season.
It is a big tent out there, and, you know, you don't have to cater to the whims of the few when there's probably really more people that resonate to you as you resonate to them.
And ultimately, I think with that Seven of Swords reversed, which I kind of tackled in a vaguer way, I really feel here you can use your modality superpowers to, you know, to walk in truth, walk in balance and harmony with all things. Do not try to destabilize anything and walk with integrity. And that even means if you have to walk away from things that are just not, you know, not productive or helpful in your life or people.
Sometimes the soft sell works better. Sometimes it's better to try to fluff up people for good reasons and with sincerity too. So I sort of felt this spoke to the idea that as a fixed sign, you can be magnanimous if you wish. You know, it's not necessarily your biggest trait, but you can. Why not?
So we have for you.
Alrighty.
Fixed signs.
So now we are on to the mutables.
Oh, our friends, the mutables. You know, they're Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. And you know what? They have a lot of positives. They know how to go with the flow. They're adaptable. They're flexible. They're versatile. They're resourceful. They can always adapt and change when necessary. They're like chameleons, and they're also like rubber bands, you know. They enjoy learning. They're diplomatic, sympathetic. There's a lot to say about them. They're quick to help others.
Too good to be true, but they do have a few negatives, though.
They do.
They try too hard to please everyone. You can kind of see that. They can be wishy-washy, not wanting to offend either side. And they're inconsistent. Maybe in their worst modes, they can be duplicitous. So they can stretch themselves to the breaking point as well in trying to please everyone, play both sides, that kind of thing.
I'm just looking at your computer.
Why?
I'm looking at something. Never mind. I got it.
The time?
I was.
Oh, I could have told you that. It's not even 22, so I think we're doing good. Apparently, the Banshee has...
I'm at Llewellyn-a-Con.
A hot date.
And I'm going to a session in a little bit. We're filming this in between Llewellyn-Con sessions, which, you know, it's a great thing that Llewellyn does, providing these authors for free mini informational sessions. I really have been enjoying it. And the chats are wonderful. You get to commiserate with people from all over the country and the world. So it's a lot of fun.
And, you know, I don't know, Llewellyn, if you're out there, but we've had kind of an association with you on and off a little bit for over 30 years. We used to be involved in doing some reviews for Llewellyn books way back in the day.
When we had a newsletter.
When we had a newsletter. But we were also involved with other projects on and off that maybe supported Llewellyn books. We think they're a fine publisher, and we think they've definitely grown a lot in the last, dozen years or more. So that's great. Are we ready then?
We are so ready for the mutables. Okay, right. Mutables, here we go. Your focus. Oh, I like this. This is so mutable in a way. Your primary focus for the month ahead, the Cancer season, is the Hierophant reversed. Wow. Hey, talk about bending and being a chameleon here. This is saying to maybe shed some things, some skin in your life that, it's time to put on a different persona maybe. It's time to follow different paths. It's time to explore, whether it's spiritually, there's a very high spiritual component to this card, or in other areas of your life. Think differently, do differently, be different.
There's a big reason to believe that the mutables have really felt drawn to be much more expressive in a way that they haven't always found to be pursuant to their more conventional or their sense of self. So they're sort of having a fling with things, and it could just be a summer fling. It could be about fashion, what they want to wear, or hairstyles, or it could be about, things that are deeper inside. But whatever it is, they're really kind of throwing caution to the wind in a certain way.
Perhaps you're exploring an unconventional relationship or religion.
Nice point. But it could also be, too, that in a way, it's really just a part of themselves that they've never really shown you before.
Very good. All right, so
the interactions with others.
The interactions with others. How will it go? Well, it's a Knight of Pentacles. Upright.
It's the Knight of Pentacles. Upright. Nice energy. It says.
And is that a mutable?
Mutable Earth. Whoops, I lost part of my drop there. That's okay.
Okay. Oh.
It was just covering that. That's all.
That's fine.
So the Knight of Swords here is a really nice sign too, because your interactions with others are stable.
Yes.
And they're productive in a consistent way. You're not necessarily telling everybody, I can move the sun and the moon for you, but you are telling people reasonably what they can expect from you in your interaction. So if you're a boss or a coworker or on a team in any particular kind of collaboration, especially if there are material aspects, you are looked at as a good team player and somebody that maybe can hold the energy and or, move it along.
It's a very positive sign for the mutables. I feel, you know, there's stability and positive energy coming from your relationships with others. And, you know, in a sense, maybe because that's one of your superpowers, you know, being able to get along so well with others and being diplomatic, you know, there's going to be those qualities this month. Your relationships are going to flow very, very smoothly.
All right.
All right. So, what about the obstacles or the challenges or opportunities you may face in Cancer season? Whoa. Well, it's Judgment reversed.
You should have asked,
upright. You know what? It's upright. And it's interesting, mutables. I think it's an opportunity for you. You know, it falls really well in line with that Hierophant reversed, wouldn't you say, Mr. O? Because you're also talking about being a different you in a way, right? And this is about shedding the old skin and, you know, reinventing yourself in a way. So I think there's an opportunity this month to be a new you and to reinvent yourself.
It's almost as if you had this seed in your thought form, and somewhere along the way comes the perfect opportunity. And, you know, nobody ever totally believes in coincidence. Certain things are meant to happen. And just the dichotomy between the two cards seems to suggest that your opportunity is something that was really just waiting for you to notice it, and that it really will advance you in a positive way, no matter what direction or area of your life it is.
Wow. So hopefully, let's see what we have here. What is your
superpower?
Blah blah. How best can you use your modality's superpower in the month ahead? Cancer season. Oh my gosh!
Oh your gosh!
This is such a mutable reading,
and it's upright Temperance. It is a very mutable reading because it does play to the idea of this, that, bring it together maybe. And that's your mutable superpower. Temperance says you can kind of operate all this stuff and walk through both worlds. You know, you don't necessarily divorce yourself from the real world by undertaking this big change that may present itself as an opportunity to you. You know, people expect this of you in a way. People expect this of you.
Well, you know, what was the first thing I said about the modality superpower? You know how to go with the flow, and you are most definitely going with that flow this month. You know, you're remaining flexible, you're remaining calm, you're able to just move with the water. I mean, temperance is about that in a way. And I always think of the flow of water when I think of the temperance card, just like a river flowing along.
Well, you know, temperance also has aspects of the nature that is here in the sun sign on this card, Sagittarius. This is an energy here, and that is about self-expansion in the most general sense. You know, that could be philosophy, travel, studies of any sort. You know, that's one of the key characteristics of Sagittarius, and that's here for the mutables. Is Sagittarius a mutable?
Yes, it is.
So it's kind of interesting because we had that play with some of the other readings too, where one of those modality signs showed up in the reading.
I can't remember if there was one in the cardinal sign, but there was definitely
one in the
wait a minute, it was in the cardinal signs. That's where we have the devil. That was Capricorn.
Well, maybe we can make some comments on the video if we notice
we see it. I'm not sure about the fixed signs. Okay, well, hey, how about we recap this for our mutable friends? So, mutables, honestly, this is your month, you know. This is your month to transform yourself or some area in your life. You know, in a sense, this is a time to take a radical approach to things, a fresh, you know, outlook on things. Maybe explore, you know, I think it's a month of exploration for you, where you're willing to stretch yourself a little bit and explore other paths, spiritual or, you know, life paths.
This may actually be a part of yourself that you just don't acknowledge all the time, but now for some reason you are coming into it.
And of course, with the Prince of Pentacles,
Your
the
interactions.
Knight of Pentacles, your interactions with others are going to just be really smooth sailing, you know. Maybe some of this is coming from your interactions with others. It seems so positive that I can't rule that out.
It expresses a sense of consistency that you want to portray with moving things ahead in a growthful manner.
Or maybe you'll be able to pull some people along for the ride. And also Judgment is here. Judgment here is for your opportunity. It's an opportunity this season to reinvent yourself, to maybe shed some of the old ideas or ways of life that aren't fitting your lifestyle anymore, and try out something new. Whether it's a fashion statement you're trying to make to something much more deep.
I think it especially aligns to this Judgment with the first card, the reverse Hierophant, and the reading in general.
Absolutely. And finally, our last card here is just go with the flow. Go where all of this is taking you. You know, don't hesitate. And I don't think you will, because you're the kind of people who like to ride things out. So take all of this in and have a nice smooth sailing month ahead.
You know, to some degree, at least with two of the signs for sure in this modality, there is a dualistic sense here. And so I think that's just saying it's like sometimes we swim apart, but sometimes we move back together.
True that, Mr. O.
Alrighty.
And hey, that's what we have for our modalities this month. Cancer season. Again, happy birthday to all the Cancers out there. Hope you have a great Cancer season. And we will see you when the sun leaves Cancer and enters the dynamic fire sign of Leo. Take care, or roar. Take care, everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Wow.